Reserve Bank forecasting that next week's GDP figures for the September quarter will show the economy is growing again. That would officially bring an end to the nation's first recession in 29 years after the economy contracted in both the March and June quarters. But the RBA warns Australia's economic recovery will still be rocky, particularly when the JobKeeper and boosted job seeker support schemes come to an end. The RBA Deputy Governor has told Senate estimates they believe an economic revival is underway and the impact of the Victorian lockdown might not be as bad as first feared.
At the moment, it looks like the September quarter for the country probably recorded positive growth rather than slightly negative. Strength of the growth elsewhere in the country was more than the drag from Victoria, and possibly the drag from Victoria was a little less than what we guessed back in August.
Yeah, some cautious optimism there, and we will see that hopefully in the official figures when they get handed down next Friday. Liza, remaining ASIC executives are distancing themselves from the expenses scandal.
Yeah, Laura, the acting boss of the corporate watchdog really threw James Shipton under a bus at Senate estimates. He's been stood aside pending an investigation into his expenses and those of his deputy. Daniel Crennan this week fell on his sword after it was revealed he had claimed $70,000 in accommodation costs after moving from Melbourne to Sydney, all at the expense of taxpayers. The Audit Office raised the alarm last year, but the acting chairwoman of ASIC, Karen Chester, has revealed the payments continued even after the alarm was raised, and Mr Shipton kept the information from his senior colleagues.
It wasn't until we were in receipt of final legal advice this year that Mr Crennan requested that the payments cease.
It shouldn't be up to Mr Crennan to ask that the payments cease. If the Auditor-General tells ASIC during its audit process that a payment being made to one of your Deputy Commissioner, your Deputy Chair, is potentially not within the guidelines, why was it not immediately ceased?
Mr Chairman, I think you're asking me a question that should be put to Mr Shipton.
So, Laura, some explosive revelations at Senate estimates. Once again, it's looking increasingly unlikely James Shipton will survive this scandal.